Global Affairs analyst Benga Onifade joins me now from the United Kingdom to speak about the death situation in Gaza. 28 countries, including key U.S. allies like the United Kingdom, Canada, and France, are now demanding an immediate end to the war in Gaza. What's your own interpretation of the West's decision to start calling for an end now?
As you rightly said, the war is actually heating, and I think it's getting to that point now. Even the United States or the key allies of Israel, they are using very strong words. I think particularly what happened yesterday, even though the United States president himself was actually frowning at what happened, and in actual strong terms. And if you actually look at one of the key, or part of the key statements, was they said they are happy to support immediate ceasefire, and they're happy to use a few other tools in order to support this ceasefire. We're talking about 25 countries, including United Kingdoms, Italy, Spain, and the Netherlands. So yes, they want this war to stop. I think one of the key things people are saying is, if you want the war to stop today, it will stop. There's been a lot of politics being played. Of course, Israel are using force. They want Hamas to release the hostages. I think it was 70 from the start, but they still got about 50 now. We don't know how many people are still alive. They have tried different means of getting the hostages back, but it's still not working. So yes, they've got to implement other tools. But unfortunately, the people who are dying, they are the innocent Palestinians on the ground, which is unfortunate. And of course, you do have the GHF, which is the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, who, because United Nations is not actually actively operating on the soil, of course, according to Israel, not allowing them. So the GHF is working with them heavily, but again, they are not really giving them that access. I think they need all hands on board for this war to stop. So I think there's also a little bit of a hypocrisy, unfortunately, from this side of the country, of the planet, which is the United Kingdom is still selling weapons to Israel. One thing you've got to understand is if these weapons stop, then of course there will be an alternative to ending this war.
Before we talk about how genuine this cause are, some persons have said this is necessary but not quite sufficient at this time. In the statement, we saw that 28 countries, including key U.S. allies like the United Kingdom, Canada, and France, demanded an immediate end. Reacting to this, Israel rejected the statement, saying that it's a propaganda for Hamas. What is going to take for Israel to listen to the international community that appears to be calling for an end?
Well, it's, this is actually the longest we've had Israel get involved with should I say, with Palestinian or with Hamas, really. Israel are saying one thing, Hamas is saying something else. Israel say, if you release the hostages, then we can come to glass. Hamas is saying, no, you stop bombing, and then we can talk. So that is different. That is actually difficult. And right from the beginning, right from when your anchor was reading, I believe it's going to take the key allies of Israel. We're talking about the leaders, the global superpowers. They can. I think there was a time they were almost trying to sanction Israel and even calling for the head of Bibi at the United at the World Cup at the Hague. Really. So I think it will take stronger terms, and this is actually, should we say, this is actually the beginning of things. Using stronger terms, but not. It's got to be more than terms now. Proactive actions, boots on ground. Get the key leaders of this. Of Israel, the IDF, get them to talk, speak to them in actual active terms. It takes not just conversation, like we said, but real movement for this war to stop. Give a deadline. They've got to they've got so many tools they can use, because of course even they've got the negotiators, but even the negotiators are running out of words to say. But like we said, you've got to get the key. Now it's got to be the foreign secretary in the UK, but now it's got to take a lot more than that. It's got to take more than words, but more people on the ground. I mean, if you think about people are dying, we talk about the hostages, the soldiers, the Palestinians. Unfortunately, it's not hitting Israel, which is great. We don't want more bloodshed, but there's a total blockade right now. There's been about
every major news story.
The aid can get into Gaza or into Palestine. And of course, I think one of the things people are saying, because Palestinians haven't actually got their own army. They've got the Hamas, and rightly, Hamas. Everyone's been condemning Hamas, but at the same time, for things to work, you've got to take more deliberate action, stronger than just strong words. Like Churchill said, Jojo, less war.
And there are reports of a possible ceasefire negotiations. I know that one was called off earlier. There are concerns that possibly this may result in release of hostages and about a 60-day ceasefire. But with what we are seeing on the ground now, this new ground assault in Della Bala, what do you think is going to happen to the current negotiations in place?
It's going to be difficult, in fact, many people are saying, I would only believe it when I see it. We've had multiple ceasefires which has been, been brushed off. We've had a few talks, which even I did believe was going to happen. But again, multiple war crimes on both sides, I will say, and has been brushed off as well. One of the key things here is, GHF is actually still feeding these guys, and they drip feeding. These guys are not actually getting the real food. But I think US, UK, France, they are yet to actively deliver what will take them. Unfortunately, United Nations, everyone keeps saying, where is United Nations? United Nations are, they're not as powerful, and they're not as powerful without the real backing. So what it will take, again, is we've got the real keyword police at the helm. Get them to talk. If they're going to have a negotiation, get on a neutral ground, and this would eventually would work.
Let's quickly focus about the humanitarian situation there. There are concerns about starvation used as a tool for genocide. If this continues, how much of that region is Israel likely to capture? And would you say Hamas is relatively strong at the moment?
Well, Hamas is using their soft power, and the soft power is the fact that they know the roads very well. They've got the tunnels, which Israel has tried, and you can know my house more than me. They've got the hostages. People do not want these hostages dead. And these are the key tools. For Israel, every citizen which is being captured is a big deal to them. So, and I think that even the world leaders who have been condemning, they try to use to avoid not using the G word, and that is genocide. Is Israel in charge right now? I will say absolutely Israel is in charge of the entire country. They are in charge. In fact, they can literally do and undo. But the key things they want is not working. If we are on this 22nd month, going to a year now, it's still not working. We need outside influences to come in. I think one of the key things, one of the hostages did negotiate or was talking about was creating a safe route for the hostages. Okay, if you can get one hostage release or a bit more, and then Israel start decapitating themselves and pulling back, I think that's probably one of the ways it will work. But unfortunately, overall, charities are not able to work. More people are dying, and for every day there's been lost, we are losing more people. Even more people have been lost to starvation. I think GHF said they've delivered over 82 million meals, and if you take that into consideration, considering about 3 meals a day, they are feeding, you've got to say millions of people being fed, even though the population is not exactly in that range. But again, more people are dying, which is the key focus right now. I think one of the key things, of course, everyone's been decrying this, even for years. We're talking about the two-state solution. One of the key things they're saying is, you know what? It's not about when.
We'll be waiting for the outcome of this calls by the 28 nations. Some have said this is quite genuine of them. We've seen the United Kingdom also trying to, end the sending of arms to Israel at the moment. Wait out for that, but that's a fine place to leave the conversation for now. Global Affairs Analyst Benga Onifade joining us from the United Kingdom. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.